Hey there folks, John here, and we are out at the flea market again. It is Sunday morning. I always come out on Sunday mornings, as I've said before, because I usually tend to have better luck on Sundays for some reasons. I really don't know why. You would think you would have more luck on Saturday when more people are out here, but I don't know. I get all my good pickups on Sundays for some reason. So it's super hot out, so this is probably going to be a sweaty trip. Probably not going to try to stay out there any longer than I have to, so this may be a little shorter video than usual, but yeah, hopefully we can find some good stuff, so let's see what we get. Okay, so I got some pants there. It's always a good start. I thought this was interesting. You got your original X-Men and Batman, and some other stuff. You got some Blu-rays here. Sometimes there's some games in here. You just never know. PS4 cases are the same color. Speaking of PS4, actually this is PlayStation 2. Basically just a bunch of racing and like Guitar Hero and that sort of thing. Nothing big. Somebody forgot to return Juiced to Blockbuster back when Blockbuster was a thing. And here we go. So here's the first thing I really found. You got these 7800 carts, and I'll let the audio from the actual transaction take it away. You said 10 each. Cool. Just gonna get this one.
Give me 20 ounces and take all three.
So what?
Take all three for 20.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
That works.
And a back. So I got change. I'm just gonna do the alien. Dude, those Neo Geo things are sweet. Where'd you find those?
Out here, probably. Was it this one or the fourth?
I think it was this one.
Yeah. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was 8, 9, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
When it first opened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just had them kicking around since then.
Gosh, how much you get them for? I mean, out
I
here.
don't even remember.
Yeah.
I
You should never know.
paid $20, $30 for three of them, would be my guess.
That's killer.
Yeah.
That's killer. All right. Well, thanks, dude.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. So, you guys saw we saw some interesting stuff out there. Yeah, I don't know why. I always come on Sundays, and I always find the interesting stuff on Sundays. So, I'll start out with the Atari 7800 stuff that I got, which is pretty cool. So I went up to that table, and actually I didn't film the first time I went up there. I forgot to have my camera rolling, so whoops, that's my fault. But I went up and I saw these 3 games for sale. If I can get them all 3 up at once here. Ta-da! These 3 games for sale. Oop, Double Dragon's upside down. There you go. And I went up to the guy, and at first he's like, yeah, those are Atari 7800 games. I'm like, yeah, I know, 7800 stuff. It's kind of tough to find, in good shape, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. I didn't say it that way. I wasn't rude to the guy. But I kind of said, yeah, Atari 7800 stuff. It's pretty rare. And so I kind of immediately let the guy know, I knew what I was talking about, and tried to say, yeah, no, I don't try to sell me on this stuff because I already know what it's worth. And he goes, yeah, well, that 7800 stuff, like that Mario Brothers game, that's $50 right there. You got your phone in your hand. I have my phone in my hand because I thought I was filming. And he goes, you got that Mario Brothers game. Look it up. It's like $50 online. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I told him, you know what, maybe I'll be back around. Whenever somebody's trying to sell you on something and just tell you what the price is, usually they're wrong. A lot of times they're not intentionally wrong. They just see, hey, it's Mario, and it's like a weird thing that I've never seen before. It must be rare and expensive. This is actually like $15 online. But the one that he did have that I was really interested in was Double Dragon, because this one, even in this shape, you can see it's pretty worn, but even in this condition, it's still worth about $40. And I don't have this on the 7800, so that's pretty cool. Pretty excited to actually try this out. I love Double Dragon, so I'm curious to see what this port is like. And it's cool to have it because you don't really see this one very often, which is pretty cool. He wanted $10 each for these, and and also I guess I should say I got Asteroids too. But he wanted $10 each for these, and so I said, well, yeah, I'm really only interested in the Double Dragon because that was the only one that was worth more than like $15 because Asteroids is worth about the same as Mario. And he's like, you know what, if you give me 20, I'll take them all. Sure, why not? So, got all 3 of these for $20. Not a bad deal at all. That's like around $7 a game, a little less than $7 a game. Really not a bad deal for these. So, pretty excited about that pickup. And then I also showed you guys this Alien Trilogy I got, which, man, super cool because this thing is like mint. You can see it's a reduced price. This must have been one that was sitting in maybe a bargain store or something for like way too long, and then somehow it made it out to this flea market. But man, this thing is in great condition. It's got some scratches on the case. This is a long box. It's the same case they would, or a similar case to what they would have put a Sega CD game in or something like that. But it's still got the art and everything. And then if you open it up, this instruction booklet is like crispy mint. Like, it's really, really good. You can still see kind of that sheen, and it's still got that like matte texture of like when you used to get a game in the instruction booklet and you have this like kind of almost gritty texture on the paper, meaning that it hasn't really been touched much. And then it's even got the warranty card back here in the manual, which you hardly ever see that on these old long box games because it was attached to the back cover and it's just kind of annoying and people would usually just tear it off. So really, really, really cool that this is in this kind of shape. And then the disc also is it's got some fingerprints on it that I need to remove. I don't even know if those will show up on the screen. But this disc is like mint. There's like nothing on it. I don't know if this thing was ever really played that much. It was probably too hard for the person that bought it or something like that. And there you go. But anyway, yeah. So Alien Trilogy, really excited. Oh, the long box version of this sells for around $40 on eBay. I'm not planning on getting rid of this one though, because it's a pretty cool game. But anyway, yeah, pretty cool long box version of Alien Trilogy. They did re-release this in greatest hits form. That one sells for around $10 online now, complete, so not nearly as big of a deal. And yeah, just really cool thing to have. But the other really cool thing that you guys saw, I filmed it, and I filmed my interaction, so you guys heard. He had those sweet Neo Geo games. He had that Wild Arms. I don't know if I filmed that. He had a Wild Arms Ultra Code F that is like a $75 PS2 game, RPG. And he was wanting to let it go for like $40, and that's fine. I wasn't super interested in that anyway. And an extra $40, it wasn't worth it to try to make the turnaround on eBay for me because I wouldn't have kept that one. And it's got to be relatively valuable for me to be worth me turning it around, because most of the stuff I buy, I try to buy it cheap so I can collect it, not so I can make a buck off of it. That's never been my purpose in any of this. But the really cool thing, man, the really cool thing were those freaking Neo Geo games, like original freaking massive cartridge Neo Geo games. You just never see those anymore. I don't even know about anymore, but you just never see those, period. Even when it was out, you never saw them because they were so dang expensive. So just seeing something like that at a flea market, like I've seen them in retro shops and stuff like that, and they're like $40, $50, $150, whatever they are. I think the cheapest, like some of the cheapest Neo Geo cartridges like that online, to get them complete are like $50. So like your $50 is like your bottom dollar price point. So it's not even something I really even look at because most of them are like $150 if you're to buy them, in a retro shop. But it's just super cool to see that because you just never see that sort of thing, and to see it at a flea market. Again, I don't know why I come across all the cool stuff on Sundays, but I do. And I just did $75. I really want them, but they're really probably just going to sit on my shelf. I don't have a Neo Geo. I don't expect to run into a Neo Geo at any point in the near future. but really cool games, and they were fighting games too. Like they weren't even like weird like cruddy sports games or like anything like that. They're like legit like tournament fighting games. It was pretty sweet. So anyway, yeah, I guess I just I don't really have the money for it right now, so hey man, I can't say no. The Neo Geo carts, would you do 70 for them?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me just go get cash.
All right.
I can't leave them behind.
Yeah.
There you go. And then,
Appreciate it, man.
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll get a Neo Geo one day, and it'll be a great day because of this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we all know what happened there. I was able to talk the guy down to 70. Not that it was really much of a conversation. You know, he'd been hanging on to those things for like 10 years, and you know, here they are. So we got this guy, we got this guy, and we got, wait a minute, this guy. He'd been hanging on to these for like 10 years. I think he was just done hanging on to them. And just kind of wanted to get rid of them. So I was able to pick them up for 70, and you know, I've got a little bit of a flexible fund for stuff like this when I find things that are rare and super cool, and just stuff that I like really want to have. You know, stuff that's not quite in the same category as stuff like this that would just be cool to have, that I could probably, you know, is not all that rare. But it's just kind of my, you know what, this is like the I find a really good deal on something, and you know, it's either take it then or leave it. It's the same fund that I took the that I bought the PlayStation lot with .hack sign, or the .hack quarantine series out of, and all that other stuff. So now I have 3 Neo Geo games that are gonna look awesome in the game room. I just gotta be on the hunt for a cheap Neo Geo, so hooray. But just to clarify, these games are all tournament fighting games, which is awesome. You know, like Street Fighter type things. First one is Art of Fighting 2. This is actually the only one that I haven't played before, but it has decent reviews online, and seems really interesting. And who knows, I might have played this in an arcade at some point. But these things are like mint. Like, the manuals are still in their plastic. These are like crispy. Like, there is nothing on these things. Look at that cartridge. Look at that cartridge in there. That's insane. I wish these things had screws on them so I could take it apart and see what it looks like inside. But the label, see, it goes over the seam right there, so I'd have to break the label to do that, which I am not willing to do. But look at the size of that case. Things are massive and awesome. So really excited about that one. These cases are really cool too. They're like almost like rubber. Next one is World Heroes 2. I have played this one, and I specifically remember this one because it's got one of the fighters in it is a football player, with like red demon eyes. It's really interesting. Again, it's a tournament fighting game. Really interesting as well, and it should be. I should note as well. This one's in just as good a shape. Still has the manual with the plastic wrap. Let's get one of these manuals out and take a look at it, just for fun. So there you go. So all in Japanese, of course. I can't read a thing, but you know what? It's a tournament fighting game. You don't have to read anything. You just have to punch people. So there you go. Got that one. These two, by the way, sell for around well, actually no, this one sells for around 60 online. It seems like a lot of these are good prices, or consistent prices are hard to find on these, to be honest. There's just not that many of them for sale. The Neo Geo was a rare system to begin with, and then the games, a lot of them are even rarer because, you know, they didn't make a whole lot of them. But, you know, this one's around 60 online. I haven't seen any that are in this good a condition, though, that have been listed. So it's possible that I could get a little bit more out of this one. I'm not sure. This one, and also the next one go between 75 and 100, depending on where you look. Again, I'm not really finding a lot that are in the kind of shape that these guys are in, with the plastic wrap manuals and all that other stuff. So it's going to be tough to figure out what the value of this would be. But that said, I'm probably not going to sell these on eBay or anything like that, just because, one, they're going to look super awesome in the game room, and two, if somebody who I happen to know online or in person or whatever has a Neo Geo and they're looking for them, yeah, sure, I'll probably sell them to them, because I don't really have a whole lot of use for them, unless I get a Neo Geo myself somehow, but they're like $400. But that said, you know, it's an interesting thing. It's a great thing to have in my collection. I'm probably not planning on selling them, but it's worth, you know, around 75 to 100. And so is this one. This is Samurai Spirits. Now, fun story about this one. I used to play this one a ton because we had, in America, this is called Samurai Showdown. And here's the back. Those of you that want to see the back. And in my youth group growing up, we actually had an arcade machine of this. In the place where we met, so we ended up playing this a lot. You know, the bottom part was open, so you could add as many credits as you wanted. And I ended up getting pretty good at this one. So this is kind of what sold me on the set. When I saw this, I was like, you know what? Look at that guy's hair. Look at his hair. So, like, 90s for a samurai to have hair like that. Anyways, yeah, this was the one that kind of sold me on the set. I'm like, you know what? This is like an important game to me. And I played it a ton growing up, and to have like the Neo Geo version of this, that's just super cool. So you guys probably saw it in the video. I got all three of these for 70. You know, I've talked a lot about this already, but yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes you just got to go back for the deal. Sometimes you just got to go back. So anyways, that's about it. Super great luck this morning. You know, sometimes we strike out, sometimes we're just like, boom, like luck through the roof, and that was today. I also got another lead on an NES with a bunch of games for like $75. I'm going to follow up on later this week. So yeah, really, really successful morning. You know, hopefully you'll be back again. I'm out of town next weekend, but I am going to try to stop at a retro game shop in Richmond, because I'll be shooting a movie up there. And should have some time on Sunday to stop by if they're open. So until then, like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys again soon.